What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Abandon. This is part of my, So What's Going On series where we take a look at a game. I mean, it's actually debatable if you want to call this game a game, and talk about, what happened this year and where we're going next year. And I thought, you know what? How could I do this without doing Abandon? Abandon is part of just this. It's a special pocket of the internet, okay? And it's a special time frame that we have that you're never really going to get back. And I'm very proud to have been a part of it. And I'm very proud even to talk about it still to this day. Now, I hold a lot of the same beliefs that it was a immense fun when it happened. And it also very much looks like a scam right now. And in terms of like where we're going next year, we'll talk about it. I don't have good feelings about it, but at the same time, I don't regret the journey we had. This year actually was very, very quiet. I was looking back, a good history of like what happened to a select game in the year for me is to look at my own channel, type in the name, and look at the videos I did on it because I cover so many things so many times. And there were some things for Abandon that happened this year, the first half. So earlier in the year, I believe in April or late March, was the Colin Moriarty interview with Hasan, where Colin really destroyed him and really that, like, there were already people that thought, the scam and all that stuff, or just not even just a scam, or if you don't want to call it that, just the fact that Abandon very much is not what it is, and he's a liar and all that stuff. There was a lot of that stuff floating around already. But Colin, if you guys didn't watch Colin Moriarty's interview, you should. I think it's free on YouTube. You can watch it. It's glorious. It's glorious. It's perfect. And it really shined a light where it's like, ooh, this is not even just a normal like game journalist who is just throwing kind of softball questions. Actually, later on in the year, GameSpot really did do some really good detective work. So I'm not saying every game journalist is like this, but Colin knows his stuff, and he really went after select things, tried to get Hasan to slip up, and he did. He did make Hasan slip up big time. So you had that. Then a few months later, you had GameSpot that kind of exposed what Abandon was doing. So I guess in the first half of the year, it was probably the final nails in the coffin, multiple nails, not even just one, in the coffin of Abandon. And then since then, to my historic knowledge on the channel, I didn't cover it. But also, I think just from memory's sake, like on Twitter and stuff, I don't actually think there has been anything on this game. So the question going into 2023 is, will we see? I mean, that's honestly the biggest thing. Will we see it? Well, here's the thing. I do believe there is a product there. I think there was a lot of kind of leeching on like Hideo Kojima and a lot of like, let's hope people just associate it with Silent Hill or, literally whatever. Let's hope they associate it with something bigger to get more attention. There was a lot of that, right? There was a lot, and I guess not scamming because there was no money transaction at least yet, right? But there was a lot of deceptive practices going on. And again, over the last half year, you could say it stopped. But I would say in Colin's interview, it did seem possible that there is an actual product being worked on at Blue Box Studios or Blue Box Game Studios or whatever it's actually called. So here's a shocker for you, maybe. This is just, these are just predictions. This is where I can just speculate and have fun. I don't know if we've actually seen the last of this game. Again, in the sense of like this grand thing that it was trying to be or trying to fool people into thinking it was, that's never going to happen. But could we actually see this prologue, right? I was going to say prequel, this prologue kind of thing where it's a couple hours and they charge you. It's money, but it's an actual product. Will that ever happen? I actually wouldn't say no. Like if I was really under severe, pressure to give an answer, I think it's possible. Now, at the same time, it's probably 50-50. I would say it's just as possible that the gaming gods give us one more good laugh and say, yeah, this game actually, there is something. It's maybe not but what you would consider a game, but it is something. It's an experience, a playable teaser, and you get to play it, and it costs $10, but it is a real thing. You really will get it. I can see that happening just as likely as I could see this entire thing falling apart. Again, actually, some of the detective work of Hasan and Blue Box dating back, years ago, is that this is kind of just par for the course. Like, they've done this before multiple times, or he's done it before specifically, and what tends to happen literally is they just kind of drop these things and come back years later, maybe under a different name, maybe, something changes, right? But they do come back and they try something else. So could that happen? 50-50. I think it's just as likely that we could wake up one day and say, holy Jesus, there actually will be a real thing, like it's coming out. Now, the trick with that is announcing that you have something for us to play no longer is good enough because it comes from them, right? So you can't just wake up one day on Twitter and it's them tweeting and they say March 15th, the prologue is up. You can pre-order it. I wouldn't even say pre-orders would be like still a guarantee. You can buy it and you can play it until people actually, that day rolls around and people do it. Until that happens, people aren't going to trust it. And I would say that's probably the right thing to do. You know what I mean? So it's as likely that happens as also another year goes by. Like literally all of 2023 goes by and nothing happens. You don't hear a single thing. And maybe something happens in 2024 or 2025 where they come back with a new game. And they pray that people don't remember. The issue is that I don't want to keep saying they because I don't even know how many employees they actually have or he actually has, right? The issue with Hasan is the stuff that he's potentially pulled, I guess all potentially, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't, let's just say it, right? The stuff that he potentially has pulled since like 2014, 15, a lot of that stuff was so small in relative terms. It was so small and nobody paid attention to it that you could have this abandoned thing happen and you wouldn't have, and people were suspicious, but not enough. And people did take it seriously. So you can never do that again. You can never have a 2-3 year break, come back and pretend like abandon never happened because that's not how the internet works. I mean, people do forget things very, very quickly on the internet, but these things would come back very quickly. People would be able to remember abandon very quickly. So you can't pull what you did in 2015, like when these mobile things started happening. You can't pull that again. You can't regroup and come back. You kind of have to just keep on going or own up to the which he has. I mean, there has been apologies, but ultimately, where does it lead, right? What is he going to do next? And that is actually what I'm here for. That's what I live for, is to see what happens next there. Hey, I still like talking about it. Obviously, I don't talk about like daily or anything. I actually, again, haven't made a video since June 4th, 2022 is the last time I talked about it. So it's good to be back for like a half-year update, and we'll see what happens over the next half year. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I'll see you all on the next one.